to my listeners in the United States and around the world. Welcome to We Live on a Planet. I'm your host, Patrick. I'm recording this episode 522 on Sunday, November 14th, 2021. Titling this one, Be Present. Have to be present, don't we? 40 degrees Fahrenheit, currently in the fine city of Oswego, New York. Feels like 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Highs are going to be about 45 degrees. Winds are blowing out of the east, 16 miles per hour. I appreciate you. It puts a smile on my face when you stop over. Stick around when we come back. We'll have our quote and much, much more right here at We Live on a Planet. We'll be right back. All right, we have our quote. This is from an unknown author, but if I were to have to guess, which maybe I shouldn't, but it sounds like it comes from a Buddhist monk. The most important reason to live in the moment is that nothing lasts forever. Enjoy the moment while it's in front of you. Be present. Unknown. The most important reason to live in the moment is that nothing lasts forever. Enjoy the moment while it's in front of you. Be present. You know, I say it time and time again, I sound like a broken record, but the only constant in life is change. And nothing does last forever. That's so true. And so you have to be present in the moment and try to live for the moment. That's what I'm trying to do. I come out here to practice my thought process with you. And I'm trying to be present and not live in the past. There's no reason to pick up that stick. It's only heavy when you hold it. So you drop that burden that you're holding and let it go. I also think about it in the sense of, like, since we're in this cell phone age, so many people are on their cell phones when they're at an event, and instead of enjoying the event and being present in the moment, they're on their cell phone trying to record the moment and make it perfect to where it's just going to sit in your memory on your phone and you're never going to watch it again. Or maybe you share it once to social media, hoping to get a bunch of likes to get that dopamine hit, and you weren't present at the moment that you were there. I think one of the good things about being my age, my wife and I, we're older, and I think there's times we can be like that, since we didn't grow up with cell phones. When we get ready to go for a walk or we go do something, we'll be like, we're just going to leave our cell phones here. We're not going to bring them. It brings me back to one of my scuba diving trips. And one of the kids on the trip, we were talking about phones, and somebody said something about a phone. And I go, oh, well, I don't even have mine. I left mine in my car. And he looked at me like I had 3 heads. He goes, you don't have your phone on you? How do you not have your phone on you? I'm like, well, I'm out scuba diving. I don't, I'm not going to need it. And all of a sudden he pulls up and he's got a phone in each hand. Well, this one's my personal phone. This one's my business phone. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can go without a phone. It doesn't bother me. Now, if I were to lose it, that bothers me. I've almost lost my phone. I told you that story. All right, what else was I going to tell you about today? Oh yeah, I remember. Let me pull it up. Can I? Yeah, did you hear that? Timber. Hurrah. The trees got cut down. I'm sorry, trees. I hate to have a tree cut down. I love trees. And, but we had 7 of them total that came down. 4 of them were small, 12-inch diameter, if that. They were able to most of it go through the chipper. 1 giant pine that was dying, that was probably over 100 foot. A sickly maple and a sickly black locust. And it looks so different next door with those trees gone. And I can really see my neighbors next door now with that being gone. It's so different. Well, the only constant in life is change. And nothing lasts forever. We were just saying that. And yeah. All right, stick around. When we come back, we'll ramble a little bit more. We'll be right back. Today is game day 2 here in America for football. Sadly, Buffalo Bills lost to Jacksonville Jaguars, who were struggling, the Jacksonville Jaguars, for their record. And they beat the Bills. I think the score ended up being 6-9. It was like going to the dentist without Novocaine. In the AFC East, though, the Bills are in the lead. They're 5-3. And then the Patriots, then the Dolphins, then the Jets. Bills versus the Jets today at 1 o'clock. The Bills are 5-3. The Jets are 2-6. The Bills, even though there's 3 New York teams, the Bills are the only team to play in New York, though, because the Jets play in New Jersey, and so do the Giants. I'd like to play a phone call. I always am telling you guys that if you want to reach out to me, you can contact me at WLOAP.com, or if you're using the Anchor app, it's really easy. Or you can call me at 315-326-1882. And I have a phone call from my friend Steve Wright over in UK. Let's hear what Steve had to say about me talking about the Bills versus the Jaguars. And football is huge in Europe, but not the football that I mean. I mean the kind with their feet. You're kicking it around football. But apparently Steve likes American football too, which is groovy. So line 1.
Wow, that's a bad start to season. 1-6 for I think you said the Jaguars. I follow New England Patriots. I think it comes down to a documentary I watched years ago where it was like a fly in the wall following like behind the scenes and things like that. And it's just sort of stuck. So I follow them. When I was younger, I used to follow the Dolphins when American football was big in the UK back in the 80s. But yeah. Come on, Patriots. I've no idea how they're doing this season. I have not checked yet. Maybe you might be able to update me. But yeah. One of my favourite players is for the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, but he seems to be in the news quite a bit at the moment for some of his personal views. But anyway, yeah. Keep up with the great work.
Thank you, Steve. So the Patriots, I believe, are 5-4, so 5 wins, 4 losses. And Tom Brady, the quarterback that used to be with the Patriots, now is the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who play in the NFC South, and they are 6-2. I am not a Tom Brady fan, but he is the GOAT. He is probably the greatest to play. You know, I just and then you're saying you used to be a Dolphins fan. My uncle is a huge Dolphins fan. And being a Buffalo Bills fan, the Dolphins are their biggest rival. So I always enjoyed to see the Dolphins lose. And then you said something about Aaron Rodgers, about him. Yeah, he's a great quarterback too. He just needs to stick to quarterbacking, I think. Be an athlete, stick to being an athlete instead of whatever it is that's going on with him. And then you also left in a call. Let's play line 2 if we could. This has nothing to do with football, but line 2.
Hi, Patrick. With regards to the daylight saving, for some reason I always thought it was an English thing. I didn't know other countries did it. They've actually been talking in this country before the pandemic of scrapping it, and it was supposed to be this year. It was going to be getting done, but obviously it's been put in the back burner. But they were going to ask the public if they wanted to go into sort of like permanent winter time type of thing, or permanent summertime where you got longer daylight. But it's never happened. Hopefully it will. So I'll definitely be picking the longer the longer days where you can sit out at night and things like that. But it would affect people who. It'll help people who are affected by the SAD, is it season affected disorder, something like that. So it might help people with that. So yeah.
All right. It sounds like hopefully you defuse that bomb too, because it sounded like a bomb was about to go off. Thank you, Steve. Check out Steve's podcast. It's A Random World. You can find him anywhere podcasts are found. And thank you for calling from across the pond. It's great to hear from you. Yes, we have daylight savings, and when we come back, I'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. So like daylight savings time, we talked about it last show. And yes, we practice it here in America. We talked about it too, Stephen, about wanting to do away with it. And for some reason, it never came to fruition either. Right now, the sun sets here in Oswego at 4:42 p.m. and the sun rises at 6:58 a.m. And that's Eastern Standard Time. I'm over on the East Coast. So thank you for calling, Steve. I love when we get a phone call. That makes me feel so good. And I appreciate it. So applause to Stephen. Thank you. Makes me not feel so lonely when I'm out here sharing my personal journal with you. That's what We Live on a Planet is. You know, if you follow the show, it's a personal journal with a variety show flair. So my dad's birthday was the other day. I want to go out and give him his birthday card today. Maybe be able to watch a little bit of the Bills game with him before my wife has to go to work. She works on the weekend, so I'll have to be home for that. And still, no answer from Radio Public. No. Yeah, there we go. No answer. I've left them several emails. I even went on to Twitter and tweeted them. Who knows what's going on with them? But the last they left off was episode 511. And I'm up to 522. So I don't know why they're not updating my podcast feed. Who knows? I haven't been able to go out and fly my drone yet either. The weather hasn't been cooperative, and possibly this Friday I will be able to. We have a rainy week right now. It's rainy outside and a rainy week ahead, but Friday looks like it might be okay. And then Wednesday I have a therapy appointment and I will be seeing my therapist, so that will be good. And then I'm thinking what we can do next is learn something and get a wrinkle on our brain and all that kind of stuff. We'll head on over to the History Channel's website. We'll go to the facts website or the fact site and just root around and see if we can find something that's interesting that might put a little wrinkle on our brain or give us a Huh, I didn't know. And speaking of that, I still have to pull up Did You Know? So it'll be new to me too. Stick around. We'll be right back. And we are back. And we are at the History Channel's website. And on this day in history, 1851, Herman Melville publishes Moby Dick. I never read it. The only thing I could tell you is Call Me Ishmael. That's it. And it's a white whale. And Call Me Ishmael. That's it. But yeah, 1851, Moby Dick. Scrolling, keep my thumb scrolling. Okay, 1960, if I can spit it out, the Civil Rights Movement. Ruby Bridges desegregates her school. On November 14th, 1960, a court order mandating this desegregation of schools comes into effect in New Orleans, Louisiana. 6-year-old Ruby Bridges walks into William Franz Elementary School, accompanied by federal marshals. Wow, how brave that young girl was. 6 years old. Kudos to you, Ruby. Space exploration, 1969, Apollo 12 lifts off. It's the second manned mission to the surface of the moon, 1969. And speaking of moon landings, that has been postponed. They were hoping to do it 2023, and now it's looking like it's been pushed to 2024. World War I, 1914, Ottoman Empire declares a holy war. Anytime I hear or anything about the Ottoman Empire, automatically makes me think of my friend Tamer, who lives in Turkey, who we inevitably end up talking about the Ottoman Empire anytime we're talking. He's so proud about how powerful they were for how long they were. And it's strange. Him and I have been friends for close to 10 years, and we met on a video game tablet, like not even a Xbox, PlayStation, or anything. It was an app game, like on your phone or a tablet you could play. And we just kind of corresponded, and we talk all the time still. Okay, what else is going on? Sports, 1970. Plane crashes and devastates the Marshall University football team. On November 14th, 1970, a chartered jet carrying most of the Marshall University football team clips a stand of trees and crashes into a hillside just 2 miles from the Tri-State Airport in Canova, West Virginia, killing everyone on board. Oh, how sad. Westward expansion, 1882. Frank Leslie kills Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid Claiborne. Art, literature, and film history. 1941. Cary Grant stars in Hitchcock's Suspicion. Never saw it, but I've heard of Alfred Hitchcock, and I've heard of Cary Grant, but I've never seen a lot of those black and whites. My wife and I saw a black and white movie years ago. I can't remember what it was, but it was a suspenseful one, and it was really cool to watch. No blood, no nothing, just suspense, music, camera angles, make you just kind of use your imagination more. Natural disaster and environment, 1985. Volcano erupts in Colombia and buries nearby towns. Wow. Killing well over 20,000 people, sadly. Nearby towns were buried in mud, ice, and lava. What a mixture, what a mess. Cold War, 1951. United States gives military and economic aid to communistic Yugoslavia. And the last one, American Revolution, 1776. English newspaper announces Benjamin Franklin has joined rebellion in America. Huzzah. All right, stick around when we come back. We got more. We'll be right back. You say potato, I say potato. You say tomato, I say tomato. Do you say potato or potato? I say potato. Well, we are on the fact site, and we're going to learn some facts about the humble potato. Why not? I love potatoes. I got to get my potatoes in me. It's the Irish roots in me. And they caused empires to rise to lofty new heights while nearly destroying others. We're not talking about emperors here. We're talking about the potato. This magic crop really did help empires to grow to never before seen sizes thanks to its reliability. It's also crippled Ireland with famine when a nasty fungus got into all their potatoes. Potatoes, though, actually came from South America. Many people around the world would mistakenly identify Ireland as the source of this incredible, versatile tuber. While in Ireland, many have aided in the potato's rise to international fame, that's where the country's involvement stops. The potato was actually domesticated from a wild plant in a region that includes the northwestern of Bolivia and the south of Peru. It was completely unknown to the rest of the world until Spain's conquest of the Americas in the 1600s. It was brought back to Europe by the Spanish conquistadors sometime around the late 16th century, and it was initially viewed with some hesitation. People have been growing potatoes for at least 7,000 years. As we mentioned earlier, the potato was domesticated in parts of Bolivia and Peru. Well, we know that this happened somewhere between 8,000 to 5,000 BC. The first archaeological evidence comes from much later. This evidence comes from Ancon, one of major pre-Hispanic archaeological sites in Peru that dates back to 2,500 BC. Hidden away among countless other incredible important archaeological artifacts were the remains of a potato tuber from some 4,500 years ago. Wow. There are over 4,000 different types of potatoes. That's a lot of different potatoes. And are you ready? Here's all 4,000. No, I'm kidding. Different potatoes are good for different dishes. Well, yeah, that's true. Potatoes are with higher starch levels, such as the russet, are definitely more floury and are better suited to be fried in the form of a French fry or hash brown or baked in the oven. Lower starch levels in potatoes give them a waxy feel, which makes them much more suitable for eating in salads and stews. A commonly available waxy potato is the fingerling variety. When in doubt, use a more all-purpose potato such as the Yukon Gold, which is quite good for most purposes such as boiling, roasting, frying, and mashing. Did you know potatoes belong to the same family as tobacco? I had no clue, but they do. You shouldn't eat a potato that's gone green. The green bits themselves aren't necessarily bad for you, though, but when a potato is gone green, it simply means that it's been exposed to a bit too much sun during storage. The spuds then convert the sunlight into chlorophyll. That's the chemical that makes plants green, remember in science. If a potato has developed a few green spots, it's also a sign that it's begun to try and protect itself from hungry animals by producing neurotoxins called solane. This doesn't mean you shouldn't necessarily throw out a potato that's developed a green spot or two, though. Small spots can be peeled or cut away, but you should probably just throw the potato out if there's any more than that. In the right conditions, potatoes can be stored for up to a year. Yeah. All right, stick around. When we come back, we're going to wrap up some more potato facts and then wrap up the show. We'll be right back. I was running out of time in my segment. There's so many interesting facts about the potato. Okay, here we are back on the potato. The Incas had more than one use for their potatoes. These days, all we do with potatoes is eat them. And that's what we really think you do with them, to be honest. The Incas had a much more closer relationship to potatoes and used to use them to treat various physical ailments. A typical cure for toothache was to carry one around with you. If your muscles or bones ached, a remedy was to apply the leftover broth from boiling potatoes. Did you know potatoes are not related to sweet potatoes, even though we call them sweet potatoes? I know. It's the scandal of a century, but the only connection between the two vegetables is that they are starchy vegetables grown underground. While potatoes are tubers, sweet potatoes are actually just the enlarged roots of the sweet potato plant. They don't even come from the same family, with sweet potatoes belonging to convolucines, the same family as morning glories. Potatoes were the first vegetable to be grown in space. How groovy is that? The University of Wisconsin worked with NASA to achieve this incredible, unique agricultural world's first back in 1995. How come agricultural? The word looked like I'd never seen it before in my life. Okay. That's enough. That is enough nonsense. Holy moly. I had the volume turned up really loud on that. Damn. Sorry about that. All right. What are we going to do? I think we did everything that I was going to do. We gave the quote, the most important reason to live in the moment is that nothing lasts forever. Enjoy the moment while it's in front of you. Be present. We took our phone call, which I was so thankful for. We learned some history. Got a couple wrinkles on our brain about potatoes. Oh, I remember. I was going to do Did You Know? And I have one. Where is it? Did you know your brain starts slowing down when you're 24 years old? This is when the reaction time of people playing video games shows the first sign of decline. You're not getting dumber, though, because your brain then begins to compensate by relying on experience and mental shortcuts, so your thought process actually becomes more efficient. And that's what we're doing right here at We Live on a Planet, is practicing our thought process. That's what I like to do. That's what we've been trying to do for 500 plus episodes. All right, my friends, do me a favor. Tell a friend about We Live on a Planet. And also reach out to me. Contact me at WLOAP.com, or if you're using Anchor, or ring-a-ding-ding 315-326-1882. It will ring 5 times before it goes to voicemail. I hate to jinx my Buffalo Bills. They're not my Buffalo Bills, but the team I root for, the Buffalo Bills. But go Bills, beat the Jets. And I will talk to you again real soon. I look forward to your time. Talk to you soon, my friends. Peace.